in other words, a legal drug dealer. Yeah, no. Hey guys, Tez here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about all things pharmacy. If you didn't know already, your girl's a pharmacist. Yep, that's right, I'm a legal drug dealer. Yeah, I'm a pharmacist, if you didn't already, so I'm here to give you the lowdown on the possible career options that you can follow after your band 6 rotations are over. Before we get started, please subscribe, like, comment and share this video with your friends or your pharmacy people who might be stumped and don't know what they want to do after they finish the diploma. And yeah, let's jump right in. Why am I like this? Side note, this is like a brief overview of what you could possibly do down these career options. It's not the only thing that you can do, so I might miss stuff out because I'm only human and obviously I am not following all these 7 possible options, so don't come at me please. So option 1 would be a specialist clinical pharmacist. Now this involves either peds or adults, so there's options either way, so I guess it's like 1A and 1B. So you can either specialise in surgery, cardiology, respiratory, oncology, hematology, urology, renal, hepatology and all those things. As part of that you can do clinics as well, so you can do warfarin clinics where you have patients come and then you check their INR and then you give them recommended doses based on what the range is, and you then tell them how long to leave it before they come back. Or you can do the diabetes clinic, you can do TB clinics, you can do HIV clinics. And so you can do all those clinics, and it's really happy times if you like patient facing or you like one-to-one contact with patients, and then I suppose you get to spend a bit more time with them. If that's your vibe, then that's always a really good option. Option 2, you can be a medicines advice pharmacist. So when you work as a medicines advice pharmacist, there's a lot of different aspects to your role, but the main role revolves around giving advice, so that can be to doctors, pharmacists, nurses on the ward. It can also be from primary care, which will be from GPs or nurses, or it could be community pharmacists, or sometimes you get questions from people in the neighbourhood team in care homes or even community pharmacists. And another aspect involves people calling you and asking you whether a drug can be used for a certain condition that it's not licensed for in the BNF or by NICE. So what you would then do is you would then do some research, so, you know, some literature searching, some primary evidence, secondary evidence to see whether it is possible to use this drug. Like maybe it's not licensed in England but it's used in Portugal, for example. So if you sort of like giving advice and you like telling people what to do, then medicines advice might just be for you. Option 3, you can specialise in aseptic services. This might involve supervising the aseptic unit, making sure that you're meeting all the good manufacturing practice guidelines, including quality control, quality assurance, making sure that the unit is sterile and that the products that are being made are made up to a satisfactory standard. The products including chemotherapy, parenteral nutrition and SIVA, which is IV meds, basically like antibiotics and stuff like that. So yeah, if you like the sort of pharmaceutical side of pharmacy, then aseptics might just be for you. It ain't for me. So option 4 would be a clinical trials pharmacist. Now this is very varied and can range from you assessing whether a trial would work in the hospital that you work at, making sure that you have the facilities to store the trial medicine, you have the facilities to administer the medicine to the patient, you have the patients that are needed for this particular trial, making sure that everyone who's going to be involved in the trial is trained to a specific standard, making sure that if it's, for example, like a medicine that's already used in that hospital and you're just using hospital stock, that you're not going to impede on the stock for the patients who are not part of the trial, and making sure that you assess the risk of the medicine to make sure that you're not going to be causing harm to the patients and all those other good things. And also making sure that if it's a trial medicine and you enroll people onto that trial, that there's going to be enough supply for the medicine, because you don't want to start people in trial and then it works and then the medicines runs out, so stuff like that. If you want to be part of that team that's out there finding out novel treatments, new vaccines, especially for stuff like the Miss Rona, then clinical trials might be for you, Hante. Why am I talking like this? Sorry. Option 5, you could choose to do radiopharmacy, which is quite similar to aseptics, I guess, but it involves preparation of radioactive products that are going to be used for patients maybe undergoing chemotherapy or radiation, and part of that involves making sure that you protect yourself, that you don't expose yourself to high levels of radiation, I guess. And I don't really know too much about radiopharmacy, to be honest, because it's something I've not really been exposed to except once, and it's not really for me, because this body is a temple, and if I can avoid it, then I'm not going to be attaching myself to radioactive material. But I do appreciate the pharmacists who do that. So yeah, if you want to work with radioactive materials and if you want to make a difference that way, then by all means, have at it, love. Have at it. Option 6 would be procurement and distribution. Now this isn't necessarily patient facing, but if you like maths, I guess, then this might be for you. It's basically to ensure that you get the right medicines in the right amount to get to your hospital at the right time, so the patient gets it when they need it, and you have to ensure that you don't have too much or you don't have too little, and you have to make sure that you get it at a cost-effective price, because the NHS is struggling. And if you can save money by getting effective medicines at a good price and you enjoy that challenge, you like budgeting, it's kind of like budgeting but for meds, going to speak to different manufacturers and dealers and getting the best deals, then procurement and distribution might be for you. You might work at a big hospital that might be a regional centre for some medicines, so that might also then involve making sure that not only do you have enough stock for your hospital, but you have enough stock for the whole region. Finally, option 7 is you can split your job with education and training. Now the split part could be you do half in hospital and half in a university, where you either teach at the university or you might choose to do a master's at the university. Teaching might involve you teaching on the diploma, for example, and the other half in the hospital could be you following any of the first 6 options that I listed. If you want to do a bit of specialist clinical pharmacy and a bit of teaching on the side, let's say you specialised in renal and then you then teach the renal module for the diploma, for example. You could also choose to do education and training in the form where you're a pre-reg trainer and you oversee the training of the pre-reg students at your trust if you want to. So if you like education and training but then you also like the clinical side of pharmacy, then that could also be a good option for you. Moving on to the book of the video, which is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This follows Trevor Noah's life as a child up till I think just before he moves to the United States, and it's about how he grew up during the apartheid scheme, is that what you would call it? Maybe not scheme, but the apartheid era maybe in South Africa, and how it affected him as a biracial person, and how he lived with his mum and his grandma and his relationship with his dad. If you like hearing of stories of people who sort of start from nothing and grow up into something, or if you also want to read about how people live in a poor part of South Africa, then I really recommend this book. I found it extremely funny, but also very informative, and it also spoke to me because I'm from Zimbabwe, if you didn't already watch my video, and Zimbabwe is next to South Africa, so I think we have a lot of similarities in the way that we live. So it sort of made me realise how lucky I am to be here, and it just sort of made me appreciate life. So if you want a book that encourages you, inspires you, but also makes you appreciate what you already have and where you are in life already, then I definitely recommend that book. Anyways, let me know in the comments if there's any type of video you want to see, or if you have any questions. Type that like button so the video reaches more people. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it really helps me out. And until next time, bye for now.